Hello and welcome to the GameShop MythCast, episode number 15. I am your host, Mythology GameShop's Jesse Voctor Rain, and today we're looking at the second of the JayPower replays, and this time he's going to be going up against a Mouse Control's Judgement here, the Red Terran. So Mouse Control, a very strong team in Europe, doing incredibly well in the Dutch StarCraft League. So a good way to see just how well JayPower's PvT really matches up. Obviously yesterday we saw a really strong game from JayPower, and today I hope we'll be seeing something similar but also different here on Cloud Kingdom. Quite a similar match to Akalon Waste in terms of how it plays out. A lot of area you can use for drops, and at the same time just strong harassment play and nice ability to take a fairly decently easy third, a fourth, and then of course you start looking towards your fifth bases. For those of you who didn't watch yesterday or the day before, JayPower is a member of UCAP Esports, currently on loan to Mythology GameShop for the Dutch StarCraft League Team League, and also just helping out with practice and stuff. He's a GrandMaster Protoss and is very good. It's been a joy to be watching his games and a joy to be around him for the past few weeks. So hopefully we can continue the partnership in the future. We have a very strong working partnership with UCAP Esports. We'll be doing more with them in the future, which I'm very pleased to do, not just because I love them, but because they now have their own official caster of the wonderful Belle Noire, who is a very close friend of mine and one of my favourite casters to work with. So here from Judgement, it looks like we're going to see the traditional Reaper opening. Nothing too fancy coming out of either player at this point. Just the one gas from JayPower, so again hinting at this fast expansion. I don't think we're going to see anything ridiculous come out of him like a 4-gate. JayPower was asked to submit a few replays, just 3 replays of his own, and Odin also sent me him versus Daz to kick off the JayPower love-in, as I'm now referring to it. And he worked long and hard to pick out some really good replays, so I don't expect we're going to see much that finishes quickly. And I like this. This Reaper is actually going to come back and deal with this probe before it goes out scouting. It should still be able to get in the base and see anything. It does mean it should not be able to harass any probes, because we should see a Stalker come out. Or the Mothership Core, of course, and in fact both are going to come out for JayPower before he expands because of the Reaper. And just because it's safe. But it's definitely going to be an expand, but with only the one gas, there's pretty much nothing else a Protoss can do at this point. And we're beginning to see the probe move out. Here we are, it's already looking at that expansion. The Reaper is up here, but now the Mothership Core is out, so should not be allowed to harass too much. It will get this probe kill if it chooses to do so, but needs to be careful not to sacrifice itself in the process. Gets a good scout on that expansion. Meanwhile, a factory going up for Judgement. So Judgement not going for the very quick expand. Instead choosing to tech up a bit first. So will be interesting to see what way he goes with this. Still only the one gas taken. So we could still be looking at another expansion fairly shortly, which I think we should. But first we're going to see the starport come out. So I imagine we're going to look at Hellion drops. There is a possibility of Widowmine drops as well. I'll have to see what makes first at the factory. But no, it is going to be Hellion drops. I do prefer the Hellion drop to the Widowmine drop, I have to be honest. I feel like there's just so much more you can do control-wise with it. And as we can see, the Robo facility is already well on the way for JayPower, so he would have an observer up by the time we actually get a medevac out of here and we get the Widowmines up into the main. So JayPower would potentially be ready for that. As it is, he's now just going to start adding more gates behind this. He's already taken his second gas. We'll have to see just how much Judgement can do in terms of harassment. Wow, killing his own Reaper. I presume because he was supply blocked to get the medevac and the last 2 Hellions out. Wow, that's actually really sucky for a Terran. Caught you there, Judgement. Killing his own Reaper because of a supply block. That poor Reaper did nothing wrong. It got all the scouting you asked him to give, and then you murdered him. Let's not pussyfoot around. You murdered him, Judgement, and I hope you feel bad about yourself watching this back. Anyway, this observer is moving out, and on the current path it's on, will be spotting this. Will it do so, however, before the medevac gets there and starts to pull them away? This is going to be interesting. I just want to watch this. I just want to see. Will it see? Oh, it sees the Hellions. So, in fact, not going for a drop there initially. Coming up here. Okay, now going for the drop. Trying to use perhaps the 2 Marines to pull the army down. Already the probes pulled away. But the Hellions are up in the main, and the Stalkers are going to be slow to get there. So these Hellions could do some damage here. Oh, the probes of JayPower are lining up. Nice force field to hold them back. Nothing killed so far. 4 have gone down in total, but the medevac is now dead. Oh, this is a bad lineup, though. So we could see more probe deaths. Finally, it looks like the Hellions will be cleared up, however. What are we up to? We're up to 5 probe kills in total. Not worth it for Judgement to lose the medevac, 4 Hellions. And well, no, it does look like he saved his 2 Marines, but still, does not feel worth it at all. And now, JayPower is on the push. Judgement, though, keeping some units behind. The Hellions trying to get in. Great force field to stop those Hellions from running up into the expansion. 1 Hellion goes down. Only 1 left now. And, oh my word, 2 more almost get sniped off. 1 very, very low health here. And meanwhile, back at home, we have more Stalkers ready. The Mothership Core is ready with that Photon overcharge. And as there is no other medevac, there's no way for him to get up in the main at this point. As we see the Hellions just scouting out. This 1 Hellion doing nothing. And here comes JayPower with a fairly strong attack. He's losing 1 Stalker to the bunker already. Not ready with a force field at all, unfortunately. Using all the force field energy up previously. And now a scan goes down to try and clear any observers sat there. But at this point, JayPower's not looking for a kill here. He's looking to do some harassment. Try and put some pressure on Judgement. If he gets the kill, great. But what he's forcing at the moment is Judgement to stay in his base, to not be dropping, to not be getting map presence, to not be trying to get a 3rd base down and landed, having to build it up in the main at this point. Now, I don't know if this is a wise move. The medevac with 4 Hellions pushing out, but there's a lot of Stalkers here. He's going to have to repair effectively to keep this bunker alive, and that's a good force field. So that bunker's down. I do not know if that was the right idea whatsoever to go for the drop here. Now, JayPower, it looks like, may not be ready for it, however. Focusing an awful lot on pressuring the front, having taken down 1 bunker with a few extra zealots here. If he had a perhaps slightly more forward pylon, he could have done some work. Nice attempt at the scan there to pick off the observer before the Widow Mine's burrow, but the observer is just off to the left, so does not get caught. And now with a warp prism, oh my word, we are going to be seeing Stalkers elevated into the main, but at the same time, we're seeing Hellions appear in the main of JayPower. So the Hellions now starting to do the damage, but this is an awful lot of Stalkers starting to hit the main. And really, can he afford to leave this bunker, or will he just get picked off? There's still 4 Widow Mines there. The Hellions here doing a lot of damage. All those probes forced off the mineral line, and now he heads for the expansion. I don't know if that was the right place to stop. A few Stalkers still going some hits off, but JayPower is continually pushing into the main here, doing damage, and Judgement is having a hard time responding. He's trying to mass up some forces here to deal with this, and here comes the stim. I don't know if that's enough. Forces are cancelled on that expansion, not focusing on his Hellions here. They will all get taken down, but now the Stalker's being forced back by the SCVs and Marines and Marauders. If we take a look, it's up to 38 workers killed by Judgement. That was a great move, sending the Hellions into the main, but he needs to be able to clear these Stalkers out of his own main, or it will all be for naught, and I don't know if he can do that. With the Widow Mines, though, those Zealots are going to start to take damage. Goodbye, Zealots. The Stalker's still here. 1 Widow Mine left, but with an Observer out, the Stalkers should not get in range of them. More and more Stalkers being walked at the front. Marauders here to deal with them now. Man, this is incredibly close and tense. JayPower just hanging in here. If Judgement had been able to put a stop to this a lot sooner, or been able to clear these Stalkers out, he would have had such an advantage, possibly game winning there with that drop. But as it is, JayPower has managed to keep things level, keeping himself in a good position. Great time warp there as well. And now with the medevac nearly being sniped, and a second time warp should get taken down if he can focus it. The Widow Mine continuing to do damage, but as it is, I don't know if this is enough. This was so close. Oh, the Mothership Core is down. The Stalkers are finally falling. More Widow Mines being burrowed closer, but so much dead. for both players and more Stalkers here on the outside. Obviously, Judgement needs to rid himself of that Warp Prism, and that's where it's happened. The Warp Prism has moved out and away from the Widow Mines now. A few units still here continuing to do damage. At this stage again, oh my word, the Warp Prism continuing on. Oh, the Widow Mine getting 1 kill so far. These Stalkers not doing a great deal. There's no Observer there to help him out at this point. In fact, no Observer anywhere near here. So just continuing to warp in Zealots to do damage to Marines and Marauders in amongst this production line. And if we just take a quick look at the unit count, it's 32 probes to 26 SCVs. As we see more probes being built for JayPower, no more workers built for Judgement. So this harass being incredibly effective for JayPower. Effectively limiting Judgement to 1 base, and meaning for a long time he was not building SCVs at all, and now trying to take down the tech lab before Concussive Shells is finished, manages it! So Concussive Shells going to be delayed even further, allowing this harassment to continue. Look at this, we have 26 workers on this base, we have almost no gas income for Judgement whatsoever. In fact, none left for him now anymore. Widow Mine once again looking to take down the Warp Prism. 1 hit does go off, but a second not there to come. More scans going down, looking to pick off Observers, hoping to. But this constant harassment from JayPower, the Warp Prism will finally go down. But there's still a ton of Stalkers in the main. Judgement supply is falling all the time. He's struggling to maintain an income, unable to continue making SCVs. And the units he have are simply not effective anymore. The Marauders never got Concussive Shell out. And with JayPower up amongst the supply lines, there is no way for him to really amass an army. Using SCVs very effectively here might eventually clean up these Stalkers, but there's just nothing to support, and losing so many workers in the process. You can see Judgement now below 30 supply at the just under 17-minute mark, and the Stalkers continuing to do damage here. Unreal play by JayPower, and of course, back at home, he's teching. He's got a robotics bay coming up. He's got 2 forges coming up. He's got immortals coming out. Meanwhile, Judgement is just fighting for control of his main base. Still, units being taken down. Stalkers still doing damage. The last one is finally picked off there. And we have a Terran at 12 workers to 51. JayPower taking a 3rd base, as we have almost no mining for Judgement. Judgement in a terrible position. It's going to take a lot to come back here. It's going to take a very, very long game, and it's going to be difficult. Like, this is not the kind of thing where you go, well, okay, here's what I do to come back. I just macro up and, you know, I get my upgrades. You are now in a position where you are behind your opponent for the entire game. You no longer have a timing to attack. You are in this position whereby he will always out-upgrade you. He will always out-tech you right up until the very end of the game. So really there's only one of 2 ways to go here. You do something like this, where you try and harass, but honestly JayPower has the money to throw away at this point. The other thing is, you macro like crazy and just hope that you can survive, that you can pull a game from behind until that incredible late game, you know, 40, 45, 50 minutes in, where you're both on maxed upgrades and maxed bases, and then just try and take it with 1 good engagement. As it is, this attack is doing nothing for Judgement, and honestly, that's the point. As we see from Mouse Control's Judgement, throws out the Gratz. JayPower with a win. Fantastic, fantastic play there from the UCAP Mythology Game Shop player. So that's it for GameShop's MythCast today, but I'll be back tomorrow with the final JayPower replay. Guys, if you want to see more from us, go to www.clan-myth.com. Thank you very much for watching.